Suresh Ganwar School of Pharmacy, which is in Suresh Ganwar University in Jaipur. And here we will discuss about the pharmaceutical organic chemistry first, which comes in your second semester of your first year in the pharmacy. And the topic is your alkane and your alkene. The learning objective of this topic of alkane and alkene is here we are going to study about the alkane and alkene molecules. So what are the alkane and the alkene molecules and what are their hybridization uh, and the method of preparation of your alkane. That how alkanes are prepared uh, in your lab scale, in your industrial scale, and what are your alkanes, what are the molecules, alkenes, what bonds they contain, what are their hybridization in case of hybridization of this alkane and alkene molecules. So this all we are going to study in this topic of this alkane and alkane. Next, firstly, we will discuss about this alkane. So the alkanes are the simplest class of organic compounds, and these are made of carbon and hydrogen atoms. So firstly, we have to know about what are the alkanes, in which category or in which compounds they come under. So here, firstly, the organic compounds. What are organic compounds? The organic compounds are the compounds that contain carbon in them. So the carbon containing molecules, carbon containing atoms are known as your organic compounds. Okay, so here they are divided into two categories. One is your aliphatic and the second one is your aromatic. So here we are going to discuss about the aliphatic compounds, or in your aliphatic compounds, here also they are divided into two categories. One is your saturated compounds and the second one is your unsaturated compounds. The saturated compounds are the compounds that contains the single bond, means they are having the sigma sigma bond, and the unsaturated compounds are the compounds that are having the double bond as well as your triple bond, means they are having the sigma and pi bond in them. So here the alkanes are the compounds, these are the simplest class of this organic compound, and they come under this saturated compounds category because they contain the sigma sigma bond between the two atoms. Either you can say in carbon hydrogen or you can say the carbon carbon single bond. These alkanes are the saturated compounds, and in case alkenes, these are the unsaturated compounds because they contain the double bond in them. So here, the alkanes are the simplest class of organic compounds. These are the simplest class in all the organic compounds, and they are made up of carbon, hydrogen atoms only, and contain two types of bonds. So here, these alkanes contain, or you can say that these are made up of carbon and hydrogen atoms in this alkane, and they are containing the two type of bonds. They contain the carbon-carbon bond, or they are, and also carbon-hydrogen bonds. And the bonds are the single covalent bonds. Means here sigma sigma bonding should be here in case of alkanes, and they do not have functional groups, and they do not have any functional groups in these alkanes. So alkanes form a homologous series with the general formula CnH2n plus 2. So these are the alkanes which forms a homologous series, and these are having the general formula CnH2n plus 2, where n is the number of carbon atom in the molecule, and in the molecule, and the first member of the family has a molecular formula CH4, because here if we take n equals to 1 in the general formula, so NC1 and H2 plus 2, H equals to 4. So the first member of this alkane in this homologous series is having the molecular formula CH4, and which is commonly known as methane, and it is the second member with the molecular formula is your C2H6. If we are taking n equals to 2, then H equals to 2 to the 4 and H4 plus 2 equals to 6. So here the molecular formula for the second member of this alkane is your C2H6, and it is known as, or you can say it is commonly known as ethane. So here meth is your first the carbon containing one hydrogen, sorry, carbon, one carbon that is having the methane with an ane. Is why we are using ane, because this comes in the category of alkane and this is a saturated compound. These contains the single bond. That is why we are using here the suffix ane. So here these are and for the carbon containing carbon, single carbon, we are using meth, and for the two carbons we are using it. So here this CH4 is known as methane, and this your uh, uh, two carbon we are saying ethane. So here these are the compounds that are known as the saturated hydrocarbons. So these are the compounds, these are the molecules, they are known as saturated hydrocarbons. So these are saturated hydrocarbons compounds. So here after that, this is your first carbon. One carbon methane, second carbon ethane. If the carbon is 3, if the carbon is 3, then we are going to say it propane. After that, 4 carbon, then we are going to say butane, 5 carbon pentane, 6 carbon hexane, 7 carbon heptane, 8 carbon octane, 9 carbon nonane, and 10 carbon decane. So, this is the homologous series of this alkane. Methane, ethane, propane, butane, butane, then pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane. These are the homologous series for this alkane, and the general formula is your CnH2n plus 2. And these are the compounds which are also known as saturated hydrocarbons, because they contain the single covalent bond, or you can say a sigma bonding between the carbon hydrogen and the carbon carbon. So these hydrocarbons are relatively unreactive under ordinary laboratory conditions. So these are unreactive. If we give them ordinary laboratory condition, then these compounds, or you can say these hydrocarbons, are relatively unreactive. But if we force them to some drastic treatments, if we force them, they undergo reactions. So these, it is for this reason, that is why for this reason they are named as paraffins. And the paraffins is obtained from the Latin word, where param is obtained from the Latin word param affanis, which means little activity. So here, as the name shows, that they are unreactive under ordinary laboratory condition, but they can be forced. They are forced. If we are going to force them, they undergoes reaction, and by the drastic treatment. That is why they are known as paraffins. So here, alkanes are the unsaturated hydrocarbons, and these are the simplest class of the organic compounds, and they carry the single bond, and they are having the two types of bond, that is your carbon hydrogen, carbon carbon single covalent bonds. They do not carry any, they do not have any functional group on them, and they are and their general formula is your CnH2n plus 2, and they were homologous series. You can say the first carbon is your meth, second is your eth, third is your prop, 4 is your but, 5 is your pan, 6 is your hap, hex, 7 is your hap, 8 is your off, non, dax, undax, 11. After that, the series goes on, and after that, these do not show any reaction. These are unreactive under ordinary condition, ordinary laboratory condition, but if you force them under, give them a drastic treatment, then they show reactivity, and they are also known as your paraffin. Here the two structures are given. One is your methane and the second one is your ethane. In your methane, you can see the carbon is 1 and the 4 hydrogens are attached to it because the carbon valency is 4. So here the 4 hydrogen are attached to it by a single bond. And here the second example is your ethane, and the ethane is having the 2 carbon atoms, and the 2 carbon atoms. So here the one carbon is having 3 hydrogen attached to it, and the other carbon is having the 3 hydrogen. So there are 2 types of bond. One is your carbon hydrogen bond, and the another one is your carbon carbon. Next is your single chain alkenes. So here the single chain alkanes, methane, ethane, propane represent the beginning of a series of a compound in which any two members in a sequence differ by one carbon atom and two hydrogen atom, namely a CH2 unit. So here you can see that yes, here you can see these are the three examples given of the alkane, straight chain alkane. So in your first, you can see there is a methane and the next is your ethane. So the difference in them, the difference in this sequence in these members is by the CH2 group, CH2 unit. You can see here in methane, C is bonded to 4 hydrogen atoms. Okay, after that the ethane. In case of ethane, you can see that the carbon, this carbon is having the first carbon is having the 3 hydrogen. Okay, after that the second carbon is having the 3 hydrogen. So here the difference is your CH2 group, CH2 unit. That CH2 unit when is attached to this methane, then it becomes ethane. After that, in your ethane, if this CH2 unit is attached to the second carbon of the this ethane, then there is a formation of this propane. So these are the straight chain alkanes. These are the beginning of a series of a compound. So the after that in propane, you are going to add the CH2, then it becomes a butane. After CH2, then it becomes a pentane. This is a difference in the difference in a sequence. Okay, so here the three simplest alkanes are given. The first 10 member of this series are given, and as the length of the carbon chain increases, there is a number of possible different structural isomers also increases. So if there is a increase in the length of the carbon, if the length of the carbon is increasing, then there is a structural isomers. The possibility of the structural isomers are also increasing. Next is your branch chain alkane. So here you can see the branch chain alkane. We can write the structure of butane by stringing 4 carbon atom in a row. Yes, we can write this like this also. Carbon, then carbon, then carbon, then carbon. 4 carbon we are showing. So we can write like this also, the carbon structure of this butane. After that, then adding enough hydrogen atom to give each carbon atom 4 bonds. So here we are giving hydrogen atom to this carbon atom, and there is a formation of this bond. The compound butane has this structure, but there is another way to put 4 carbon atom and 10 hydrogen atom together. Place 3 of the carbon atom in a row, and then branch the 4th carbon of the middle carbon atom. So if we are making the straight chain into a branch chain alkane, then the 4th carbon of this straight chain, we are going to put this on the third carbon in a row and branch the 4th one of the middle carbon. So here you can see in the first structure here, this is a straight chain. After that we have made this butane in a branch chain. So we can now we add enough hydrogen atom to give each carbon 4. So here this is your branched chain alkane, and this is your straight chain alkane. So this is converting it into the branch chain structure. We can also put this structure in like into this structure, into the branch chain structure. Next are the cycloalkanes. There are also the cycloalkanes. So cycloalkanes are in the cyclic structure. These are in the cyclic structure, and these are very important in components of food, pharmaceutical drugs, and much more. So these cycloalkanes are very much important in your food industries, or in the component of your food, or in your food industry, or in the pharmaceutical drugs. These cycloalkanes are very important. So however, the use of cycloalkane in such application, we must know the effect, function, properties, and structure of cycloalkane. And the cycloalkanes are alkanes that are in the form of ring. So here the cycloalkanes are the alkanes that are in a ring structure. So these cycloalkanes are in the ring structure, and these alkanes are alkanes that are in a form of ring, and here prefix cyclo is added on it. If the this butane is a ring, or you can say the propane is in a ring, because propane is having 3 carbon, means 1 carbon is there, 1 carbon is there, and 1 carbon is there. So it is in the three that is known as cyclopropane. So here, stable cyclohexane cannot be formed with carbon chain of just any length. That alkane carbon adopt the tetrahedral geometry in which the angle between the bonds are itna. So here, the alkane is having this tetrahedral structure. These cycloalkanes we will discuss in the another unit. Next, what are the classification of carbon bonds? So here the classification of carbon bonds are given. So the carbon bonds participating in chemical bonds within a molecule can be classified based on a number of carbon-carbon bonds that are formed. Here, the carbon bonds that are participating in your chemical bonds within a molecule. In a molecule, the bonds that are the carbon atoms that are participating in your chemical bond can be classified on the number of carbon bond attached formed. So here 4 type of carbon atoms: primary carbon atom, secondary carbon atom, tertiary carbon atom, and the quaternary carbon atom. So in your primary carbon atom, there is a 1 carbon neighbor. So the carbon is having a 1 carbon neighbor. So in this figure, you can see here, this carbon is having the 1 carbon neighbor. This is known as primary carbon. So in case of secondary carbon atom, this carbon is having the 2 carbon neighbor. This carbon is having the 2 carbon neighbor. That is why it is known as secondary carbon atom. Next is your tertiary carbon atom. So here in this case, this carbon is having the 3 carbon bonded, or you can say the 3 carbon neighbor. That is why it is known as tertiary carbon atom. And this is your quaternary, because this carbon is having your 4 carbon neighbor. So the number of carbon neighbor that a carbon atom has can help determine the reactivity of the carbon position. Thus, it is important to be able to recognize whether a carbon atom is primary, secondary, tertiary, or quaternary structure. So it is important. It is very important to recognize what is your primary carbon, what is your secondary carbon, what is your tertiary carbon, what is your quaternary carbon, because the carbon atom help determine the reactivity of the carbon position. After that, if in the further reactions in future, if we are doing any reaction in case of alkenes, or then there is a formation of carbocation. So here, in that case, the tertiary carbocation is more stable than this primary carbocation. So in case of reactivity, the importance of recognizing this primary, secondary, and this tertiary and this quaternary is very important. So again, I'm telling that this carbon which is having the 1 carbon neighbor, that is known as your primary carbon. This carbon which is having the 2 carbon neighbor, this is known as your secondary carbon. And this carbon which is having the 3 carbons as a neighbor, then these are known as tertiary carbons. And this 4, this is your quaternary, and this carbon is having the 4 carbon. The 4 carbon, which is having the 4 carbon neighbors to this carbon. This is known as your quaternary carbon. So these are the carbon atoms that are participating in carbon chemical bonds within a molecule. This is a one molecule, and this can be classified based on the carbon-carbon bond. This is differentiated, or you can say classified on the basis of the carbon-carbon bonding between a molecule. This is your molecule. This is your ethane. Sorry, this is your ethane, and here this carbon is neighbors is this methyl. This carbon is neighbor having 2 methyl. This carbon is having 3 methyl, and this carbon is having the 4 methyl. So the classification of this in this the molecule above the center carbon is evaluated for the number of carbon atoms that are bonded directly with the center carbon. A primary carbon is bonded to one carbon. This primary carbon is bonded to one carbon, and the secondary carbon is bonded to two carbons, and the tertiary carbon, this carbon is bonded to 3 carbons, and in the fourth quaternary carbon, which is bonded to 4 carbons. Next, within any given molecule, each carbon atom can be classified as here. See, this is a molecule, and this is your primary carbon because it is attached to this one carbon. Its neighbor is this one carbon. This is your secondary carbon because it is having the 2 carbon attached to it. It has 2 neighbors attached to it. So this is your third tertiary carbon because it is having 3 neighbors, 3 carbon neighbors. So here this is your one carbon, second carbon, and your third carbon. And this is your fourth carbon, that is your quaternary carbon because it is having the 4 carbon atom which are on the 4 side of 4 neighbors. It is having the 4 neighbors. That is why this carbon is known as the quaternary carbon. This is a classification of your carbon atom within a molecule. In a molecule, you can see, you can easily differentiate it, this primary, secondary, tertiary, and your quaternary. Once again, I'm telling that this carbon, this CH3 is having one neighbor. So which neighbor is it? That is this CH2. So this is your secondary carbon, and this is attached. This is your this primary is having this one neighbor only. That is why this carbon is known as primary carbon. Now, secondly, this carbon is having your 2 carbon neighbors. So this one first is your this, and the second one is this. That is why it is known as secondary carbon. Third is your this carbon. This carbon is having 3 carbon on 3 sides, 3 neighbors carbon, 1, 2, and 3. This is your tertiary carbon. After that, this is your fourth carbon. Sorry, this carbon is having the 4 neighbors, one this, one this, one this, and one this. That is why it is known as your quaternary carbon. So this is a classification of carbon atom within a molecule. Next is your sp3 hybridization of alkanes. So in alkanes show the sp3 hybridization. So according to the modern orbital theory, carbon has electronic configuration. According to the modern orbital theory, according to the orbital theory, the carbon configuration of this carbon, electronic configuration of this carbon is that carbon on the ground state is having how many? 4 electron in its last orbital. Okay, so here in this ground state, it is having 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz0. So here in Bz, there is no electron. After that, in the carbon which is in the excited state, it is having, see, in the excited state, it is having 1s2, 2s1. So from here, this one is excited to this position. So here, this is having 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pyz1. So it is the carbon is having 1, 2s and 3 2p orbitals, which give 4 new sp3 orbital. So this is your hybridization. Hybridization means number of lone pair, or you can say connected. Okay, so here this is your 4 new sp3 orbitals, 1 2s and 3 2p orbitals that are giving your 4 new sp3 orbitals. So these they are giving your are 4 new. So the hybridization here means that the number of atom attached to any number of atom attached to the atom plus the lone pair present on it. So carbon, the methane. If you take the alkane as an example, you are taking the alkane. In alkane, we are taking the example of methane. So in methane, the carbon is attached to the four side of the hydrogen bond, and the carbon is not having any the carbon is not having any lone pair on it. So that is why it is having the 4 new sp3 orbital, and and this equals to your 4 hybridization equals to the number of atom attached to any atom plus lone pair. So here the carbon methane is having the 4 bond plus 0. So here 4 means your sp3 orbital. So here the methane shows the sp3 orbital. So here it is having 1 2s and 3 2p orbitals. Next, the 4 new sp3 orbital are arranged in space in such a way that their axes are directed towards the corner of a regular tetrahedron. So here, if in case of this alkane, the 4 new sp3 orbitals, are arranged in space. In space, these are arranged in such a way that their axis of this sp3 orbitals are directed towards the corner of a regular tetrahedron, because this alkane is having a tetrahedron structure. That is why the orbitals that are formed, the 4 new sp3 orbitals that are formed, that are arranged in space, their axes are directed towards the corner of the regular tetrahedron structure, the tetrahedron structure. So these alkane shows the tetrahedron structure. So in the formation of a methane molecule, the sp3 orbital overlaps with 1s orbital of 4 hydrogen atoms. So here this carbon, which is having the, in case of methane molecule, I'm telling you that in the formation of methane molecule, this sp3 orbital of carbon, the carbon sp3 orbital is overlapping the hydrogen 1s orbital, because the hydrogen is having the 1s orbital. Okay, so here 1s orbital of hydrogen, of the 4 hydrogens, are overlapped by the sp3 orbital of the carbon. So there is a formation of the 4s sp3 sigma bond. So here there is a formation of s sp3. S is for your hydrogen and sp3 is your carbon sigma bond. Now, secondly, in case of ethane molecule. So in ethane molecule, the sp3 orbital of one carbon overlaps with the sp3 orbital of the other atom. So here, the ethane is having the 2 carbon atom, that is, and in case of one carbon atom, the sp orbital of this one carbon atom is overlapping with the sp3 orbital of the another carbon atom, because there are 2 carbon atom present in the ethane. So here this sp3 orbital of one carbon overlaps with the sp3 orbital of the other carbon, and the remaining 3 sp3 orbital of each of the 2 carbons are overlapping with the 1s orbital of the hydrogen. So both carbon, this is your carbon, this is your carbon. So in both carbon are your sp3 hybridization in case of alkane. So both are overlapping this 1 orbital of sp3, and the 3 orbitals of this hydrogen, sorry, the carbon, are overlapping with this hydrogen, with the 1s orbital of hydrogen atom, and they form sp3 sigma bond. So in sp3 hybridization of alkane, it is shown that according to the molecular orbital theory, that the carbon is having the electron configuration So the carbon is having the 4 electron in its outermost shell, and the carbon at the ground state is having 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz0. But in case when the carbon is in the excited state, then it is having the electron configuration, which is your 1s2, 2s1, 2p1, 2px1, 2py, 2pz1. So here it is having 1 2s and 3 2p orbitals, which gives 4 new sp3 orbitals. And the hybridization here means that hybridization is equals to number of atom attached to that atom plus lone pair. So the carbon is not having any orbital, sorry, the lone pair. So it has the 4 new sp3 orbital. So the 4 new sp3 orbital are these are arranged in such a way in the space that the corner of this the axes are towards the corner of this tetrahedron. And in the formation of a methane molecule, this sp3 hybridized carbon is overlapped by the 1s orbital of the hydrogen. And in case of ethane, the one orbital of the sp3 is overlapped by the second carbon, which is also having the sp3 orbital. And remaining 3 orbitals are overlapped by the 1s orbital of the hydrogen, and there is a formation of this sp3 sigma bond. Next is your sp3ization of alkane. So here you can see that in case of alkane, this is your methane. First is your methane and second is your orbital structure of your ethane. So in case of methane, you can see this sp3 orbital is overlapping this s orbital of this hydrogen. So this is your sp3 orbital and this is your s orbital. So here there is a overlapping of this sp3 and s. There is a formation of the sigma bond. Same here. This carbon, in case of ethane, this carbon is having sp3 orbital and this carbon is also having the sp3 orbital, and both are overlapping. And remaining 3 orbitals of this sp3, 1 these are overlapping with this hydrogen of this s orbital. Here this carbon with this s orbital. And here you can see this is a tetrahedral structure. Sorry. This is your tetrahedral structure. And here the carbon is having the bond angle is your 109.5. In case of alkane, the bond length is your 1.09 angstrom. And here you can see between this carbon and hydrogen. In carbon and hydrogen, it can be 1.08 or 1.10 angstrom. And the bond angle between this carbon hydrogen is your 109.5. And in this case, in this carbon, here it is 109.5, and the length between this is 1.5 angstrom. Next is your alkenes. So alkenes are the hydrocarbons that are having the double bond, carbon-carbon double bond in their molecule, and they comes in the category of the unsaturated hydrocarbons, and they are having the molecular formula CnH2n, where n is the number of carbon atoms. And the alkenes are also known as olefins. Like alkanes are known as paraffins. In the similar way, alkenes are also known as olefins. So these are the example of this: ethylene, butylene, and the 2-butene. Where the double bond is present on the first carbon atom, that is why it is known as 1-butene in this case. And here, in this case, the double bond is present on the second position of the carbon atom. From here also you can number this alkene. So in both cases, the double bond is present on the second position of the carbon atom. Next. So alkenes, as I've told in the last slide, that they are also known as olefins, and they contain 1 carbon-carbon double bond. They are classified as your unsaturated hydrocarbons, and they compound with double or triple carbon atoms that enable them to add hydrogen atoms. Same. Unsaturated, in the unsaturated hydrocarbon category, there comes the alkene as well as your alkynes. Alkynes are having the triple bond between the carbon-carbon, but the alkenes are having the double bond between the carbon-carbon atoms. and these alkenes are sp2 hybridized. For example, this C2H for ethyl. Next, these alkenes are in these alkenes, the carbon atom are sp2 hybridized, and they are attached to each other by a sigma bond as well as a pi bond. So there are sigma as well as your pi bond in case of your alkenes. And the sigma bond result from overlapping of one sp2 hybrid orbital from one with sp2 hybrid orbital of another carbon. So both the carbon is having the sp2 orbital, and the sigma bond is formed by the sp2 hybrid orbital of this carbon with the second one sp2 hybrid orbital from the second carbon, from this carbon. Okay, the pi bond is formed from the overlap of unhybridized p orbital. So here this pi bond is formed from the unhybridized p orbital, and the remaining sp2 orbital form the remaining the set 2 sp2 hybrid orbital. They are forming a bond of sigma bond with this hydrogen atom. You can see from the on the both side of this carbon. Next is your sp2 hybridized of carbon orbital. So the three sp2 hybrid orbital lying in a plane and are inclined to each other at an angle of 120 degrees. So in case of alkene, the angle is your 109.8 degree, and in this case, in case of alkene, the angle is 1.20 degree. And one of the p orbitals is 2pz on each carbon atom is left unhybridized. So in both the cases, in both the carbon cases, the p orbital is unhybridized, and that forms a pi bond. So the three sp2 hybrid orbital form three sigma bonds, two with the hydrogen atom and one with the carbon bond. Okay. So the result is a planar structure. So in case of alkene, the structure of this structure of this alkene is your planar. But in case of alkene, the structure is your tetrahedral. So the two partial filled unhybridized p orbital of the two carbon atoms overlap. So they are overlapping side by side. You can see here in the figure that these p orbitals are overlapping by the side by side, and they are forming a sigma bond. Next, the pi bond. They are forming a pi bond. Okay. So here you can see this sigma bonds sp2 orbital, one of this is, and they are forming a sigma bond, and this carbon hydrogen, they are forming a sigma bond, and the angle is your 120 degree degree. So here you can see here it is a side-by overlapping of an unhybridized pz orbital of the two carbon atom, leading to the formation of a p bond. And therefore in ethene, the carbon-carbon double bond, that is your double bond, is the formation of your one sigma, and your one pi bond, a sigma and a pi bond, and the signal structure is written as shown above. So it can be written, structural formula can be written like this. Okay, or you can write like this also. Next is your method of preparation of alkanes. So alkane are prepared, how alkanes are prepared, and the 6 methods are given. Firstly, your hydrogenation of alkene and alkyne. Secondly, your reduction of alkyl halide. So in your hydrogenation of alkene and alkyne, there is an addition of hydrogen to this alkene and the alkyne. And in the reduction of alkyl halide, the reduction means the removal of hydrogen atom. So here there is a reduction of reduction will happen in this alkyl halide. Third is your decarboxylation of carboxylic acid, means here is a removal of the carboxylation function, that is your COO. And then is a hydrolysis of Grignard reagent. In your Grignard reagent, there will be a hydrolysis which will be with the presence of your water. And fifth is your action of sodium on alkyl halide, that is your Woods reaction. And last is your Cory-House alkane synthesis. And there is a preparation of this, there is a synthesis of the alkene molecule. So the first reaction, that is your hydrogenation of alkene and alkyne. So in this, you can see here that the alkane can be prepared by catalytic hydrogenation of unsaturated hydrocarbon in the presence of catalyst nickel or platinum at 200 to 300 degrees centigrade. So this Reaction is happening at a temperature of 200 degrees centigrade to 300 degrees centigrade. And in this reaction, we are using a catalyst, that is your nickel, or you can take the platinum. And here the alkane is formed by the hydrogenation of unsaturated hydrocarbon, means alkene in case of alkene as well as in case of alkyne. So we are reacting the alkene with this hydrogen, and after that, in the presence of your catalyst, that is your nickel, and is heated at the temperature of 200 degrees centigrade to 300 degrees centigrade, and there we get a product that is your alkane. So here we get alkane. So here you can see alkene, which is having the double bond and hydrogen, and nickel is given, that is your catalyst, and this is heated, and here we get a alkane. So here two hydrogen molecules are present. One will add to this position and one will add to this position, and this pi bond is break here from here, and there is a formation of alkane. Now here we have taken an example, that is your propene. So in case of propene, you can say propene, this hydrogen molecule is added, this pi bond will break, and this hydrogen bond is added to this position, and there is a formation of this propane. Next is your alkene. So in case of alkene, you can take two molecules of this hydrogen. Firstly, there is a formation of this alkene. First, from this alkene, this alkyne, this is your alkyne. So from alkyne, there is a formation of this alkene. After that, from alkyne, there is a formation of this alkene. After that, from alkene, there is a formation of alkane. So here we have directly shows that when alkyne is reacted with this hydrogen, there is a formation of this alkane. So here we have taken the example of this methyl acetylene, and or you can say that's propyne. And when we are heating it with two molecules of hydrogen in the presence of your nickel catalyst, there is a formation of this propane. Next is your reduction of alkyl halide. So in your reduction of alkyl halide, we are taking alkyl halide, and alkyl halide is undergoing reduction. So in your reduction, there is an addition of hydrogen atom. So here we are adding hydrogen, reduction with the nascent hydrogen, and in the presence of your reducing agent, we are using here reducing agents like Zn, HCl, and there is a formation of your alkane. So here the alkane is formed from this alkyl halide. So alkyl halides are added, or you can say alkyl halides are undergo a reduction in the presence of your catalyst, or you can say Zn HCl, and there is a formation of your alkane, and there is also a formation of a acid also. So here we have taken an example of your methyl iodide. Methyl iodide is when reduced with this hydrogen, that next is hydrogen, in the presence of your zinc hydrochloric acid, then there is a formation of this methane, which is your alkane, and there is also a formation of this hydroiodic. Next is your third reaction, that was your decarboxylation of carboxylic acid. So here we are doing the decarboxylation of this carboxylic acid. So when sodium salt of carboxylic acid is heated strongly with your soda lime. So here when we are heating this sodium salt of this carboxylic acid with this sodium hydroxide, and which is your base, plus CaO, that is your soda lime. So there is a formation of this sodium carbonate and your alkane. So we at last we need our alkane. So here we have taken the sodium salt of carboxylic acid, and after that, by reacting it with the NaOH, this you can see here, this R will get reacted to this H, and this NaO will react with this whole COONA. So after that, there is a formation of this Na2 present, and CO3, COO, and these are three. So here sodium carbonate is formed. So here the example is given of sodium acetate. So sodium acetate is reacted with this sodium hydroxide, and we heat it, and there is a formation of this methane and sodium carbonate, and CaO will remove as it is from this reaction. Next is your hydrolysis of Grignard reagent. Firstly, what is Grignard reagent? So Grignard reagent is alkyl magnesium halide. Is your Grignard reagent, and this can be obtained by treating alkyl halide with magnesium in the presence of your ether. In the presence of your anhydrous ether, the alkyl halide, when react with this magnesium, then there is a formation of this Grignard reagent, which is your alkyl magnesium halide. So here, after that, this alkyl magnesium halide get hydrolyzed in the presence of your water molecule, and there is a formation of this alkane. Okay, next here you can see that alkyl magnesium halide, this alkyl halide is reacting with this magnesium in the presence of this anhydrous ether, and after that there is a formation of this alkyl magnesium halide. And this alkyl magnesium halide, this is your RMgX, is your Grignard reagent, and this alkyl magnesium halide is reacting with this water molecule. This is your water molecule, and this is get hydrolyzed, and there is a formation of this alkane. So here we have taken an example of this methyl magnesium iodide, which is your Grignard reagent, and when this is hydrolyzed in the presence of water, then this methane is formed. So here you can see the CH3 is reacted with this H. So there is a formation of this CH4, and this MgI is reacted to this OH. So here MgIOH is formed. Next is your Woods reaction, which is very popular reaction and very important also. So here this Woods reaction with synthesis, the here higher alkanes. In this case, the higher alkanes are produced by heating an alkyl halide with sodium metal in dry ether. In case of hydrolysis, we are taking, in case of Grignard reagent, we are taking an anhydrous ether. But in case of Woods reaction, we are taking the dry ether. So here higher alkanes are produced by heating an alkyl halide with sodium metal in your dry ether. After that, in dry ether, the two molecules, we have taken here the two molecules of what? Alkyl halide. So these are the two molecules of alkyl halide. We have taken the two sodium molecule, and after that, this R and R will react, will form a bond, and this alkane is formed, and this X and Na will form the sodium halide will form here. Okay, so here we have taken the two molecules of alkyl halide loses their halogen. It loses their halogen and atom as NaX, and these net result is the joining of two alkyl groups. So these two alkyl groups are joined, and they yield a symmetrical alkene. This is a symmetrical alkane having even number of carbon atoms. So here, if there is a carbon atom present, then there would be an even number of carbon atom would be present. So here we have taken an example of this methyl halide. This is your bromide. So here, this methyl bromide, two molecules of methyl bromides are taken, and with sodium. So here this methyl and methyl will form a bond, and this is a symmetrical alkane, and here this NaBr is formed, that is your sodium bromide is formed. Next is your sixth reaction, that is your Corey-House alkane synthesis. So in your Corey-House synthesis, you can see an alkyl halide is first converted to lithium dialkyl copper, and then treated with the alkyl halide to give an alkane. So here you can see this alide, sorry, here we have taken the two molecules of this alkyl halide. So firstly, this alkyl halide is treated with this lithium in the presence of your ether. So this intermediate is formed. Alkyl lithium is formed. After that, this alkyl lithium is then reacted with this copper iodide. Okay, and there is a formation of this lithium dialkyl copper, and lithium iodide is removed. Okay, after that, there is this lithium dialkyl copper is then reacted with the second molecule of this alkyl halide. This is the second molecule of alkyl halide. Okay, then there is a formation of this alkane plus lithium chloride, and this this is your alkyl copper is formed here. Okay, so this is the formation of alkane from the Pore house. This reaction is known as Pore house alkane synthesis. Next is your, these are some of what will be the student outcome. So here the student will going to know about the alkanes, what are the alkanes, in which category they comes, and alkenes, what are alkenes and which category they comes, what are the another name of this alkane and alkane, and what are the hybridization of this alkane and alkane, and what is the method of preparation, different method of preparations of alkane, how the alkane can be obtained from the different reagents, or you can say different reactants. So these are some of the questions, or you can say the MCQs. So the first question is, in alkane the bond angle is 109.5, 109, 120, 120, 180. So the answer is A. 109.5 is the bond angle of this alkane. Next, methane can be prepared by. Methane can be prepared by Gibbs reaction, decarboxylation, hydrogenation reaction, all of these. So methane can be prepared by all these three methods. So the D answer is the correct. Third is the formation of alkane by the action of zinc on alkyl halide is called what? This is known as Wurtz reaction. Because here alkyl halides when react in the presence of sodium, in the presence of your zinc, then there is a formation of your this this is your reduction of alkyl halide. So the answer is D. Answer is your D. Next is your, the other name for branched alkane is, that is your paraffin. Answer is your paraffin. The fourth is your bond angle between HCC bond in ethane. In case of ethane, what will be the bond angle? So the bond angle will be 109.5 and it forms also a tetrahedral structure. So name of the Grignard reagent is your alkyl magnesium halide. Okay, so the answer, correct answer is your A. Which one of the following compound is unsaturated? So the unsaturated unsaturated formula is CnH2n. So according to it, the unsaturated compound is your C. Eighth, which one of the following compound is saturated? That is your ethine, 2,2,4 trimethyl pentene, 2-methyl butane, 2,3-dimethyl butane. So the answer is your D. That is your butane, because ane is used in case of alkane, and alkane is a saturated compound. Ninth is your pi bond is the result of the overlap of two s orbital, overlap of one s and p orbital, sidewise overlap of two parallel p orbital, or overlap of two p orbitals. So the answer is your C. And the last question is, the double bond contains sigma bonds, and how many sigma bonds and how many pi bonds? So the answer is your 1 sigma and 1 pi bond. That is the correct answer is your C. So these are some of the references. From there you can also read this topic. And thank you so much.